Now on Coast TV News.
Leading up Millsboro with a twist, the unique incentive one group is offering to get people to pick up junk this weekend.
2 Sussex County fires in less than 12 hours, both under investigation. We have new images tonight and what investigators happened. Actors strike over the tentative agreement reached and when the cameras will be switched back on. Cambridge parties square off after a development debate on this parcel. What's happening Monday?
Veterans Day, vivid skies vanish for a very chilly vibe by next week. A bird's eye view of the forecast is coming up.
This is Coast TV News at 11.
A joint effort to clean Millsboro. Good evening. I'm Mallory Metzner. Charlie Sakaitis has the night off. Welcome to our news at 11. We begin tonight with one organization looking to clean Millsboro with a unique incentive. The Delaware Cannabis Advocacy Network is offering free marijuana to those who help pick up trash around Millsboro this coming Saturday. But neighbors are split on having this happen in their community. Coast TV News reporter Charles Reinert shows us how this event is sparking up conversation around Millsboro.
Rolling up a new way to clean up Millsboro. The Delaware Cannabis Advocacy Network is hosting Joints for Junk, where every person registered gets a free marijuana cigarette for participating. The organization's executive director, Zoe Patchell, says this event aims to break stigmas around smoking weed and help the community.
We saw that similar community service events were happening in other legal states where advocacy groups were gifting cannabis to increase turnout, and we thought, what a great way to incentivize people to show up and help out.
Patchell says that the recent marijuana sale ban passed by town council and neighbor support for marijuana contributed to the decision of having this event in Millsboro. The Advocacy Network does host community events often, but this is the first time marijuana is being given to participants. Millsboro neighbor Michael Ahmad thinks it's a good idea for the community.
People that just want to clean the community anyway, regardless if they're going to get a joint or something out of it. So I think it's a win for everybody.
But Charlene Truitt has conflicting thoughts.
I'm not against marijuana. I'm not against anybody smoking it. I'm not against them selling it. But you should have enough pride in your community that you don't have to be bribed with a marijuana cigarette to pick up the trash.
The Advocacy Network is working with nonprofit Delaware to put on this event, as both organizations look to make Millsboro green in more ways than one. I'm Charles Reinert in Millsboro, Coast TV News.
Patchell says there are already plans to schedule another one of these events due to popular demand. The event this Saturday is already almost at capacity. And that brings us to our Coast TV poll. We want to know, what do you think about this cannabis incentive for community cleanup in Millsboro? Let's take a look at the updated results from earlier this evening. Looking at the screen here, it looks like the majority, 49%, think it's an effective strategy, 36% think it's creative, 2% think it sends the wrong message, and 13% think it's inappropriate. If you haven't voted yet, you still can at coasttvnews.com or on the Coast TV News app. Taking a live look outside into our Hershey Exteriors camera at the 45th Street Tap House there in Ocean City. Pretty warm for this time of year today, but that might not be the case tomorrow. Our First Alert Chief Meteorologist Paul Williams joins us now with a look at our weather tonight. Good evening, Paul.
Good evening, Mallory, and very astute and observant on your part. That's right. Today was unusually warm. In fact, we're only about 4 degrees away from tying the record high. But take a look at where we are right now in Rehoboth Beach. It's 62 degrees right now, and the winds are pushing primarily out of the north. Now, here's what we're expecting as far as tonight. We're looking for temperatures to still fall into the mid-50s with partly to mostly cloudy skies, and we are expecting a couple of sprinkles in the late night, well, early morning hours, to be quite honest. Now, taking a quick peek at our expectation for those who have the Veterans Day celebrations, we're looking for a chilly start to the day, and we'll have a high of about 58 degrees for Veterans Day, but lots of sunshine for all of your celebrations. As far as where we are right now, we had a couple of sprinkles earlier this evening. Now that's dissipated, but more rain is indeed on the way. We'll talk more about that in your full forecast. Till then, back to you, Mallory.
Thank you, Paul. The Delaware State Fire Marshal investigated a fire that damaged a garage in Georgetown this afternoon. According to the fire marshal, firefighters responded to McCauley's Chapel Road. Officials say when the Georgetown Fire Department arrived on scene, they saw heavy smoke and fire coming from the building. They say no one was inside this standalone garage at the time of the fire. Investigators say the fire was found to be accidental. They say it was caused by a fire spreading from a nearby controlled burn. Luckily, officials say no one was hurt. They say the damage is estimated at $50,000. And we have new images tonight of a house fire in the Selbyville area that happened this morning. Firefighters from Roxana, Bethany Beach, Ocean City, Selbyville, and Millville were all on scene on Mallard Drive along with Sussex County EMS. The state fire marshal says an electrical malfunction caused this fire. Smoke detectors alerted the person inside and they got out safely. Investigators are estimating the damage here to be $85,000. The ongoing Hollywood actor strike appears to be over. SAG-AFTRA actors have reached a tentative agreement with the major film and television studios. So now the big question is, when will filming begin for those halted projects? Jen Sullivan looks at when the cameras will be switched back on.
For months, the glitz in Tinseltown faded to black as filming shut down amid the ongoing strike between actors and the major studios. But overnight, Hollywood erupting in applause. A tentative agreement was reached between the Actors Union SAG-AFTRA and the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers, which represents the major studios.
It is historic and we got so much.
The studio saying the AMPTP is pleased to have reached a tentative agreement and looks forward to the industry resuming the work of telling great stories. For 118 days, scripted movies and TV shows were abruptly halted as the studios and actors clashed over a variety of issues from wages to protecting actors from being replaced by artificial intelligence.
We worked hard to put together and push for a package that we felt comfortable with. And that's not an easy thing to do around AI because everyone is nervous about AI.
Actors saying they're eager to get back to work.
Finally, action.
So when can we actually see action? It's not as simple as just turning the cameras back on. Scripts have to be written, set designs created. There's a lot of prep work that needs to be done before actors can return to work. All this coming on the heels of the Writers Guild strike, which ended September 27th. Because of both strikes, upcoming seasons for shows like Euphoria, The Last of Us, and White Lotus have all been pushed back to 2025. I'm Jen Sullivan reporting.
Senator Joe Manchin of West Virginia will not be running for re-election next year. As a Democrat representing a deeply Republican state, Manchin's retirement will reshape the battle for Senate control in 2024. In his announcement, Manchin said that while his time in the Senate is coming to an end, he will continue to be active in national politics. The man accused of breaking into former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's San Francisco home, striking her husband with a hammer, and seeking to kidnap her went on trial today. During opening statements, the defense says they will not dispute most of the government's evidence against David DePape. They say he believed that children were being harmed and that he was on a mission to save this country, and that he hit Paul Pelosi because he thought that his mission had been thwarted. If the defense can prove that DePape did not show up to kidnap then Speaker Nancy Pelosi, they might be successful in getting an acquittal. The United States has said today that Israel will begin to implement daily pauses in fighting of 4 hours amid growing pressure to allow for more aid to get into Gaza and hostages held by Hamas militants to be released. Tens of thousands of Palestinian civilians are heading south from Gaza City on foot. They're fleeing intensifying clashes between Israel's military and Hamas and an accelerating exodus from the north of the besieged enclave. White House National Security Council spokesperson John Kirby said today that Israel will implement 4-hour pauses in fighting in areas of the northern Gaza Strip every day. The Israeli military had told the U.S. that there would be no military operations in the areas involved during the pauses.
I'm Madeline Overturf. Here's a look at just some of the things happening across Delmarva. Delaware drivers, DelDOT is asking for your thoughts. The agency has a survey to share thoughts on transportation priorities for long-term plans The purpose is to identify goals, policies, and priorities that will serve as a framework for shaping DelDOT's transportation investments and decision-making over the next 20 years. Quick reminder, a majority of schools, offices, and government services are closed Friday in remembrance of Veterans Day, which is Saturday. Dorchester County Council will meet with the Cambridge waterfront developers after council claimed in an open letter the mixed-use project heads were acting without transparency and took away too much tax revenue for the city. The waterfront will be where a former hospital stood with retail, residences, and more. The closed session is Monday at noon. That's a look at just some of the things happening across Delmarva. I'm Madeline Overturf.
The bronze Beacon of Hope Harriet Tubman statue makes its grand entrance to Lewis today. The statue had been on exhibit at the Cape May Point Science Center, but it now retraces the path of the Underground Railroad to continue its Freedom Tour. It arrived on the Cape May Lewis Ferry around 1 p.m. It is 13 feet high, traveling on a 70-foot-long flatbed trailer with its sign.
Beacon of Hope belongs to the entire community. So the Beacon of Hope now is now yours, and she has been released to the community. So we are inviting all the nonprofits, organizations, churches, especially the after-school programs with the children.
The statue is headed to downtown Salisbury to be unveiled on November 15th in front of the government building. We have a lot more coming your way tonight on Coast TV News at 11. Preparations underway for Veterans Day ceremonies, how you can honor local heroes this weekend.
Friday's forecast includes fast and furious rain followed by freezing temps. I'll pinpoint the timing for you.
First, tight streets to park cars in South Bethany. Why reducing seasonal parking passes has people divided? We'll be back in just 60 seconds.
Life is a commitment, a beautiful journey that teaches us all that just when you think you've got it made, you've got another thing coming. To which we say, bring it on. You've got a heart that needs a hand. We've got hands committed to saving hundreds of hearts each year. You want your life back? We've got your back, and your hips, and your knees. You're facing a monster? We've got heroes. Life gets off to a rough start? We've got this, and this, and this. You have fear? We have hope. You're facing a storm? Hey, storm, is that all you got? Because we've got more. More ways to help, more ways to provide hope, more ways to prove our commitment to you. And that commitment, well, it runs deep.
This is Coast TV News at 11.
The town of South Bethany held its second discussion today about a possible ordinance to cut back on the amount of parking passes each homeowner is allowed to have. Originally, people who live in South Bethany were allowed 4 permits, but there were concerns that homeowners were illegally selling their extra permits, prompting this idea to cut down the permits. The town has voted to change the number of permits allowed from 4 to 2. One person who spoke with Coast TV News says the change is not right to people who live in town.
It's squeezing out the residents in terms of their permits. So I don't know what the bottom line is. It may be that it's a compromise rather than 4 to 2, 4 to 3. And then a rethinking of maybe how many days can a non-resident seek a one-day permit, and whether there ought to be a limit on that.
The town says they hope this helps with the parking situation on Ocean Drive in the summertime. The town says they will also be changing the cost of the permits to account for lost revenue. The next holiday, Veterans Day, is this Saturday, and there are ceremonies happening all across Delmarva to honor those who have served. Let's take a look here. The Lewis-Rehoboth Rotary Clubs is outside of the Cape and Lopin School District office at 11 a.m. The Seaford Veterans Committees is at Kiwanis Park. The Worcester County Veterans Memorial Foundation will host its Veterans Day ceremony in Ocean Pines like usual, and there's a ceremony at the Wicomico War Veterans Memorial. Then at 1:30 p.m., American Legion Post 166 will hold its Veterans Day celebration on Philadelphia Avenue. In health news, the Blood Bank of Delmarva says it is holding blood drives this month to celebrate blood donor eligibility expansion. This comes after recent FDA guidance established a blood donor screening process based on individual donor assessment, not sexual or gender identity. The first one will be at Camp Rehoboth. It's actually scheduled on Veterans Day from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. The blood bank says all donors will get a free t-shirt that says "We all bleed the same." We have a link to register on CoastTVnews.com. New today, America's long history of population growth is expected to come to an end. Census Bureau projections released today show that the U.S. will stop growing by the year 2080. The data also indicates America's population will actually start to shrink by 2100. That's the first time this has happened since 1918, when a flu pandemic and World War I caused a reversal in growth. Key factors in this projected decline include falling birth rates and rising death rates because of an aging population.
Well, we've got a bit of a topsy-turvy kind of a situation as it pertains to our forecast, but we've been on the upside, but now the downside is quickly approaching us, along with a couple of showers here and there. I mean, the temperature has changed over the last 24 hours. We are actually 18, and 19, that's nearly 20 degrees warmer than we were just 24 hours ago. And I know I'm a weather nerd in the sense, I'm a meteorologist for a living, but this is kind of some exciting stuff when you think about it. That just doesn't happen every single day, okay? We're holding right now at 61 degrees in Georgetown and in Greenwood and Milford. It's 62 degrees in Milton as well as Delmar and in Selbyville. And we have 62 degrees currently in Lewis as well as Rehoboth Beach. Now, we had a couple of sprinkles that kind of trickled its way through the area from earlier today. They dissipated pretty quickly, and we thought it was going to be pretty much a non-event. And it was. We have this low pressure system to our south, but we have much colder air that's on the way that's really in the middle part of the country that will begin to come knocking on our door. But keep a close eye on this low pressure system because it's going to help bring in an opportunity for some scattered showers with a little more robustness to them to begin to visit us as early as 3 o'clock in the morning for tomorrow morning. So I say late tonight, it's already late tonight, but early tomorrow morning before the sun comes up. Widespread rain will start off, okay? And we'll keep that chance of spotty showers with these areas of darker green indicating heavier downpours. But once again, you see it's splotchy. It's kind of scattered at the pattern. Now, with the onset of that, we'll have some more scattered showers continuing for 9 o'clock and then by 11:30 as well. But then we could see some embedded thunderstorms kick in for us by 3:30 in the afternoon. Now, because of the timing, this is scattered shower activity, 3:30 in the afternoon. That's when we're expecting the best opportunity for those scattered showers to possibly blossom into at least some short-term thunderstorms. So don't be surprised if a couple of lightning flashes are in the air. But by Friday night, it should skedaddle on out of the way. I love using skedaddle during the forecast. So anyway, all right. So winds are out of the north for Friday. We have that rain that pushes through. And then Saturday, it's a different story because we start off in the 30s. Now, Saturday's when the cold air kicks in, but by the afternoon, we'll go back to 50s, mid to upper 50s because of the sunshine we expect. Sunday's a whole different story. Take a look at your Paul Davis Restoration and Home Remodeling extended forecast. See, Friday's okay because, we have the rain. Saturday, we have our Veterans Day festivities, so we'll have sunshine that'll ease us back up to near 60 degrees. I think after Saturday, the honeymoon is over, though. We'll drop down to 32 for Sunday morning. That's near freezing. Sunday during the day, a high of 50. Then we drop down to below freezing going into Monday morning. And then we stay in the 30s after that, straight on through till we get to next Thursday.
No, Paul, it's getting too cold for me there. Pickleball court debut in Milford ahead on Coast TV News at 11. The community's journey to this moment and what it means for your recreational options. But first, how one chicken dinner has raised over $200,000 to aid Ukraine. You're watching Coast TV News at 11.
Friday and Saturday only at Johnny Janosic. Get savings up to 50% and 0% APR for 3 years or an extra 15% off for cash. And for 2 days only, get an extra $100 off. Friday and Saturday only at Johnny Janosic.
If you want your trade-in to be worth more down the road, then shop Toyota. The best resale value brand according to Kelley Blue Book's KBB.com for the 3rd year in a row. On a $45,000 vehicle, see how these Toyotas are predicted to be worth thousands more than the average vehicle after the first 5 years of ownership. That's performance you can count on. Shop local inventory on buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Farmers are superheroes. true conservationists. We are using soil health practices to help fight climate change. Soil health farmers are working today to protect tomorrow, using regenerative agriculture and climate-smart practices like no-till and cover crops to improve soil health. Healthy soils sequester carbon, improve water quality, and produce sustainable, nutrient-rich food. Soil health farmers are working today to keep Delmarva a beautiful place for generations to come.
This Thanksgiving, our Delaware Electric Cooperative family has so much to be grateful for. We're thankful for our employee family, whose hard work is breaking reliability records. We're grateful to operate under a not-for-profit business model that puts people above profits. Our team is thankful for our members who have once again named us one of the top electric providers in America. And most of all, we're thankful to be able to power thousands of incredible people and places across the first state. From our co-op family to yours.
Happy Thanksgiving!
Johnny Janosic is your one-stop mattress superstore. Find the largest selection and all the best brands under one roof. And now, we introduce purple mattresses with queens starting at just $13.99. Shop Johnny Janosic's Mattress World.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Local philanthropist Mitzi Perdue hosted a high-dollar dinner with the proceeds going to Ukraine. As Coast TV News reporter Tori Seagrave shows us, this dinner was no ordinary feast of fancy.
A reason to celebrate. Mitzi Perdue continues her pursuit to aid war-torn Ukraine with another donation. This chicken dinner was auctioned off at Cuisine for a Cause and hauled in a few more pennies than even Perdue herself had expected.
I was hoping that it would get all the way up to $1,000 for landmine clearance. And the auction began. It started at $1,000, and I'm so happy. I'm thinking, oh! But then it went by increments of $1,000 to $10,000.
And it just kept going up to $220,000. 8 guests arrived at Perdue's Salisbury apartment for this one-of-a-kind meal, one that was prepared with the war in Ukraine in mind.
If we ruin the land, we will overfish the sea, which in the long run will create a situation of starvation.
The meal consisted of ingredients that are plentiful in supply across the world to reinforce that message, along with hand-painted Ukrainian cookies for dessert. Dave Zook says Perdue's stories inspired him to buy into the unique dinner.
It's always better when you hear it from somebody that's been on the ground and been a part of what was going on, and some of the stories coming out of there was just heartbreaking. So it's one of my missions is to make an impact.
Perdue's endeavors to help the fight in Ukraine started when she sold her historic emerald engagement ring. She tells me the funds raised from auctioning that off led to more training for clearing landmines spread by Russia and more police patrol boats. But Perdue says her help for the people of Ukraine won't end here.
Mother Teresa said, the good that we can do, we must do. And I think that makes sense.
Spending her time opening her home and even liquidating key parts of her jewelry box isn't something Mitzi Perdue is required to do, but getting involved is a moral imperative.
If I can, by going there and writing about it, I figure I don't have a choice, I have to.
I'm Tori Seagraves in Salisbury, Coast TV News.
Mitzi Perdue continues to collect donations for landmine training. That link can be found in the article at coasttvnews.com. It was a day of celebration for the Indian River School District. This morning, a beam signing ceremony was held at the new Sussex Central High School construction site. School, district, and state officials signed the last steel beam before it was lifted into place in the new structure of the new school. Coming up in sports, see who prevailed between Cambridge, South Dorchester, and Kent County in the second round of the Maryland Football State Playoffs. But first, people picking up trees, what these native plants represent for Sussex County. Coast TV News at 11 continues after this.
Hardee's newest handcrafted recipe, candied bacon, coated with caramelized brown sugar and a hint of pepper to add a whole new level of goodness to breakfast, lunch, dinner, or anytime. Hardee's, goodness in the making.
We decided to do upgrades on our house that we had built ourselves. We were looking for a particular company that would be on the same page we were as far as craftsmanship and take pride in a job well done. Now we're having the bathroom done, and we went with Spicer Brothers. I've never seen anything as fast and as efficient.
Unbelievable how quick he is, and for a one-man show.
He has a passion for his craft. and he's so efficient. We're just so tickled to death to have him.
So before you sign, keep Bass by Spicer Brothers in mind.
During Pohanka of Salisbury's Veterans Day sale, we are paying tribute to all who served to protect our freedoms by rewarding active and retired military members with a special military appreciation offer toward any vehicle purchase. We'll also make a donation to Operation We Care for every vehicle purchased to send care packages to our troops stationed overseas. And this week, we kick off our annual Toys for Tots toy drive. So let's all pay tribute during the Veterans Day sale at Pohanka of Salisbury.
My baby drives a Pohanka.
At Atlantic General Hospital, we've been busy. Busy expanding healthcare services that are second to none in our region. From cancer care and women's health services to orthopedics, gastroenterology, and more, we provide advanced health technologies delivered by top providers. Expert care every day. It's what you can count on from Atlantic General Hospital.
Before you celebrate your new home, protect your surfaces with HydroShield. HydroShield prevents unwanted stains from penetrating the surfaces in your home. Our eco-friendly formulas eliminate the need for toxic chemicals, protecting you and your family. You paid good money for your surfaces. Protect them with HydroShield. Call today for your free total home protection estimate. And relax, we have you
Learn more about our total home protection at hydroshielddelmarva.com.
You asked, Hardee's listened. Welcome home, Cinnamon Raisin Biscuit. The cinnamon icing drizzled goodness is back for the holidays. Hardee's, goodness in the making.
Large crowd gathered in Georgetown this afternoon for the first ever Trees for Every Delawarean initiative, known as the Teddy Native Tree Giveaway. It's hosted by the Sussex Conservation District. People who spoke to Coast TV News said they were excited for the opportunity to be a part of something good for the community.
There's so much clear cutting going on in Sussex County that it's great to see an initiative that refills the trees back into the environment.
All 200 trees were gone in under 30 minutes. And today, the Milford Parks and Recreation Department cut the ribbon on its latest addition, a new playground and pickleball courts. The shipbuilding themed playset came after much anticipation from the community. The two are located along the Riverwalk in Memorial Park. About $200,000 in funding for the projects was provided from the state bond bill and DENREC's Outdoor Recreation Parks and Trails program.
We hope that people will continue to use these facilities. They've really wanted them. They've asked for them for a while, and we're building another one. And we continue to build out our park system so kids of all ages, you know, whether they're kids like mine, 4 and 7, or they're older adults like me, can use them as well.
The plans for another playground will be more of an obstacle course style. The city hopes to break ground on that project early next year.
Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
Good evening, sports fans. Cambridge South Dorchester football facing Kent County in the second round of the Maryland State playoffs. Opening drive for Cambridge from just inside the 25, the handoff to Jaden Ferguson. He uses some good vision and makes a cut, and he can book it into the end zone. Extra point is missed, but the Vikings up 7-0. Next CSD drive. QB Blake LaBelle looking to create some similar results, but Kent County's Dylan Cole causing some pressure and getting rewarded with the sack. Nice stuff there from the senior. Early second, 4th and goal all the way from the 25 for the Vikings. However, that's no problem for LaBelle. He goes deep to the left corner of the end zone and he finds his man, Darren Belzar. Huge play there to make it 12-0. And now it's CSD's defense to get involved in the action. Trojans airing it out over the middle less than a minute later, but William Jackson reaches up high to snag that one. Decent return on the pick, too, for good Viking field position. And on that drive, it's LaBelle out of the shotgun again, firing one over the middle to Antonio Bluford, and he hauls it in for yet another score. CSD up 19-0. CSD fully controlled this one as they advanced to the 1A state quarterfinals by a score of 51-0. That'll do it for sports. Have a great night.
Join us here on Coast TV to watch Sunday Night Football. This Sunday, it's the New York Jets versus the Las Vegas Raiders. Coverage starts at 7 p.m. And then right after the game, we have your hyper-local Coast TV News to get you ready for the work week. Do you have what it takes to survive? Tomorrow at the Warwick Community College in Salisbury, there will be a Survivor Open casting call. That is tomorrow, Friday, November 10th, from 3 to 6. It is time to take another look at our Coast TV poll tonight. We want to know, what do you think about the cannabis incentive for the community cleanup event that's happening in Millsboro this weekend, where they're giving out free joints to people who participate? Looking at the screen here, here's our updated results. Now, 48% think it's an effective strategy, 36% say it's creative, 14% think inappropriate, and 2% think it sends the wrong message. If you haven't voted yet, you still can at coasttvnews.com or on our mobile app. Roast and Toast, the feast you can enjoy in Seaford this month before the big Thanksgiving dinner. Stay tuned on Coast TV News at 11.
NBC News Daily, weekdays at 1 on Coast TV.
Step 1. Join Club Ocean at Ocean Downs. Step 2. Get $20 free play guaranteed. Step 3. Play, celebrate, and join an ocean of winners like these. Ocean Downs Casino, where the fun shines.
Oh, porches. Hello, aren't you the guy I see on TV, the porch protection guy?
Yeah,
So they're made of marine grade materials that last for years?
Yeah,
and they say I could use my porch all year round?
I think
and
so.
they keep the dirt, pollen, and rain and wind out? And the custom made right here locally?
They are.
I got to run, but it was really nice talking to you.
Well, it was nice talking to you too.
Call or visit porchprotection.com for your free quote.
Crisp fall air means cool new styles and the perfect time for a run. Vernon Powell has Delmarva's largest selection of Hoka to fit your running style. Then feel the ooh in OOFOS recovery footwear. Comfy Hey Dude, Birkenstock, or UGG for your whole family. Fall favorites, Patagonia flannels and North Face hoodies. Support at work with Dansko and Vionic. Wall-to-wall work boots and Carhartt apparel. Plus that expert Vernon Powell fit in Salisbury and Rehoboth Beach.
Family owned and operated since 1936.
The world's #1 selling farm tractor. Easy to operate and more powerful than your average tractor. Mahindra tractors. Push more, pull more, lift more. With more torque and lower engine maintenance, Mahindra tractors are rugged and tough. We know how much you love your land, so we want you to love your tractor. Get your next Mahindra tractor today. Southern States of Milford, improving farming and improving life. Rooted since 1948.
Friday and Saturday only, shop the Veterans Day 2-day sale at Johnny Janasic with savings up to 50% and 0% APR for 3 years, or an extra 15% off for cash. And for 2 days only, get an extra $100 off plus an extra 15% off clearance and floor samples. Get this triple reclining sofa for only $899.95 or a power swivel glider recliner, only $799.95. Shop the Veterans Day sale at Johnny Janasic.
93.5, The Beach.
The Seaford Historical Society has a brand new event debuting this weekend. The Pig Roast and Toast is happening on November 18th at the Ross Station. Organizers say that also includes a live auction, 50-50 raffle, and the chance to win a free rental of the Ross Station. Tickets are on sale on the Historical Society website and at the Seaford Museum.
Well, good luck with that event. Now, we do have a winner of our own to announce, Kevin Earl. Sounds like somebody's cousin, right? Anyway, Kevin Earl from Ocean View, Delaware. Congratulations. You're our new winner, courtesy of Paul Davis Restoration Home Remodeling for our umbrella giveaway. And listen, those umbrellas are great umbrellas. Oh, and speaking of those umbrellas, they can become very handy for you. Now, we've had some sprinkles that have pushed across already, but we have more in the way of rain that's on the way. Here's a look at your exclusive Coast TV 10-day forecast. Now, we are expecting rain to kick in at 3 o'clock in the morning, okay? Now, you don't have to wait up for it. Just take my word on it. You'll see the evidence of it when you wake up at your normal hours. But Saturday for Veterans Day festivities, we'll start off a bit on the chilly side at 38 degrees in the morning time, but we will warm to about near 60. So we're going to salvage Saturday pretty good. But Sunday, cold, sunny, beautiful. Cold. And then we'll drop Sunday night going into Monday down to 30 degrees. And then we will stay in the mid to lower 30s for the next few days in a row. And we'll climb back above the norm for this time of the year by the time we get to next Thursday. Mallory?
Thank you, Paul. And thank you for joining us here for Coast TV News at 11. For more news and local weather, download our Coast TV News app. The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon is up next. We'll see you tomorrow for Coast TV News at 5 a.m. Have a great night.